as the head coach at Colorado State. His team is off to a 1-2 start, but that one was a big one. Beating Colorado in the opener down in Denver at Sports Authority Field. You win that game, folks are pretty happy for a whole year around these parts. They'd like to see some more success in the field, but they can always look back to that win in the season opener. In fact, he's the first Colorado State coach ever to defeat the Buffs in his first try. 22-17 was the score back on opening weekend. Utah State won the toss and deferred its choice to the second half. Colorado State will have the football first. Jason Oden and Lee Clubb are the receivers back deep near the Ram goal line. And we're underway in Fort Collins. And this, in all likelihood, is going to be a touchback. It is, and the Rams will have it 1st and 10 at the 25. Quarterback for the Colorado State Rams is the sophomore Garrett Grayson. He took over last year, the last 3 games of the season, when Pete Thomas went down with an injury. Prior to that, he hadn't played a whole lot. Well, now the team is his. He's a sophomore. Has started every game so far this season. Decent numbers. 5 touchdown passes. He's thrown a touchdown pass in every game so far this season. Just 2 interceptions. And Colorado State will open up without a huddle. And Grayson's going to throw in the first play of the game. Good coverage downfield, and he just bails out of the play. It's going to be 2nd down. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Colorado State. Along the offensive line, Weston Richburg is one of the best centers in the entire country. He's on every watch list for the awards when it comes to the guy right there in the middle. And we'll check the backs and receivers in just a moment. There is a change in the starting backfield for CSU, in that Donnell Alexander is not there as a look at him. Donnell Alexander has been bothered by an ankle injury, and Chris Woke was expected to get the start, but it's Joe Brown, the H-back, who has actually been lining up behind. And this is a direct snap to Joe Hansley, the freshman from Highlands Ranch. He takes it off the left side, moves across the 30 to the 33-yard line.
This is a great play. They put it in the direct snap to Hansley, and then just great blocking around the side. By taking the quarterback off the field, you get an extra blocker, and they are able to get about 8 yards on that play.
So it's 3rd down and 2 to go for Colorado State. Now, 3rd downs have been a bit of a problem for CSU, converting just 27% on 3rd down tries this season. Utah State's opponents have converted just 17% of 3rd down so far. Pitch it to Hansley, again to the left side, and he gets across the 35, necessary yardage for the 1st and 10. Defensively for Utah State, we told you about Al Lapuaho in the open. He's been outstanding for them. Kamani Matangi is the nose tackle. Connor Williams is on the outside as another defensive lineman. Jake Doty and Zach Vigil. Vigil is the linebacker who makes most of the plays for this Utah State defense. And you saw the secondary very briefly. McCade Brady is also a playmaker, had 10 tackles to lead the team in the win over Utah. Very quick snap, and this is a pass to Hansley, and the freshman's getting a lot of work, and he's ridden down at the 39-yard line. Short gain on the play.
So we've seen 4 plays. We've seen 4 different formations and personnel groups. So they weren't joking about trying to mix things up on offense and get this Utah State defense confused.
Series history dates all the way back to 1902. Colorado State has the edge and has won the last 4 games in the series quite handily. Last year's meeting was a thriller, 36-34 double overtime win in Logan by the Rams. And Grayson is wrapped up and brought down, and he may have lost a yard on the play.
And so this is just a case of inexperience for Grayson a little bit. He doesn't really have any pressure on him. He steps up. He could have stepped a little bit to the left. You know, he feels a little bit of that pressure coming from his right, but there was no reason for him to step up into that tackle. He could have bought a little bit more time in the pocket.
So now 3rd down and long. Now the scoreboard reads 2nd down and 13, and the chains say 3rd down. In any event, there's a long way to go to get a 1st down, and it's even longer now. Grayson is dropped by Zach Vigil, sophomore linebacker out of Clearfield, Utah.
Couldn't find anyone to throw to down the field, and they got themselves into this bind by letting it be 3rd and long. You know, Utah State played so well on 1st and 2nd down that they force you into these situations. Is what they've done all season so far.
one of the best punters in the country, Pete Kondadiakis, lofts one that's fair caught at the 23-yard line. That fielded by number 84, Cameron Webb. Kondadiakis had a 72-yard punt last week against San Jose State, 46+ on the season. The quarterback at Utah State is Chucky Keaton. He's a sophomore out of Houston, Texas. Dangerous when the play breaks down. He's much better as a passer than he was a year ago as a freshman, 68% of the season, his completion rate. But he even says the best part of his game is when the play breaks down and it's up to him to keep it alive because he's a very dangerous runner. So 1st and 10 for the Aggies on their opening possession. The ball at the Utah State 23. And he's going to go with the quick pass, and that is complete. Travis Van Leeuwen is brought down at the 25, short gain of 2. Offensively for Utah State, team that's 2-1 on the season, coming all off a loss at Wisconsin. Eric Schultz on the right guard, very good in the middle. The backs and receivers, Kerwin Williams is a terrific sophomore running back out of Las Vegas. Matt Austin is also a very sure-handed receiver. Austin has 9 catches and a couple of touchdowns, one of Keaton's favorite targets. Short gain on that play to the 29-yard line. That's going to bring up an Aggie 3rd down. Defensively for Colorado State, and this is a makeshift group. Now, Lanston Tandy has come on as a transfer from Appalachian State and has been terrific the last 2 weeks. Corey James is a playmaker at the strong side linebacker spot. Bernard Blake is coming back after being out with a sore hamstring. He's the fastest of the Rams, but how fast he is coming off of injury, that remains to be seen. But Momo Thomas is not playing today, the other cornerback, because of injury. Keaton to throw. That pass is complete. That's a 1st down and a whole lot of yards out to the 45-yard line. Pass caught by Matt Austin.
And just a simple slant. You know, there's nothing fancy about this. He slants inside. It's zone coverage. He finds a soft spot in the zone. They pick up a 1st down.
Gain of 16 on the play, and that's Keaton all by himself. There wasn't an Aggie teammate anywhere to give him any blocking assistance, so he's pushed out of bounds. He does pick up about 3 yards in the play.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, it looked like he was about to be tackled at the line of scrimmage, and then all of a sudden he pops up, gets 3 yards, and still dancing down the sideline.
Well, Jim McElwain knew that of all the Aggies, Chucky Keaton was the guy who was going to cause him the most headaches. And certainly his defensive assistants trying to figure out a way to contain him. They say that the best way to do that is just for everybody to maintain their assignment. That pass is incomplete. Penalty flag wanted by Travis Reynolds. He's not going to get one, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 7.
That was great coverage by DeAndre Elliott, cornerback number 19, and just made a perfect break on the ball and is able to come over the top and break that up.
You might see the Aggies throw at Elliott quite a bit, given the fact that he's getting a lot of playing time with Momo Thomas out because of the injury. Elliott's a freshman, a redshirt freshman out of Dallas. 3rd down and 7. And Keaton to throw again. Now he's got pressure, and now he's doing what he loves to do, and that's running around to keep the play alive, and he scampers for the 1st down.
You know, how frustrating for the Rams. They come with the blitz on this play. They bring 5 men on the blitz. They get the play unraveled, but then, as you said, Bill, he's at his best when the play starts to fall apart, and he gets forward for the 1st down.
And he doesn't get hit.
True.
Sliding safely for that 1st down at the Ram 44-yard line. We haven't talked about Kerwin Williams yet. That pass complete to Van Leeuwen. He's to the 30. Hesitates and moves 5 further yards downfield and is pushed out at the, they're going to say at the 27-yard line.
Well, this time DeAndre Elliott playing way too far off and in bail coverage, and just easy throw and catch to Van Leeuwen, and then is able to get up the field. It's about a 15-yard gain.
There's Kerwin Williams off the left side and into the end zone. Utah State touchdown. 26-yard touchdown run, his 1st carry of the game, and Utah State is on the board 1st.
Well, look at the huge hole that he has. I mean, 2 defenders coming at him. They both miss him, but he doesn't get hit until he's about 10 to 12 yards down the field, and at that point, they bump each other off, and he's into the end zone. Wow, what a hole.
Penalty flag on the play, apparently. Claire Gossman.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
indication as to who that was. But somebody in gray is in trouble. Not that guy, Kerwin Williams, unless, of course, it was him for a little extra celebration.
It doesn't seem like he did anything. Well, you know what? He did make an X with his hands. I don't know. Is that illegal now in college football? I can't remember.
Wow. Okay. Point after try is up. It is good. Josh Thompson with the point after. Kerwin Williams got the touchdown, and Utah State has a 7-0 lead on Colorado State, still very early on in the first quarter. Bill Dolman, welcome back to Hughes Stadium in Fort Collins. That guy right there, number 25, just ran 26 yards into the end zone for a Utah State touchdown, capping an 8-play drive. That gives Utah State an early 7-0 lead.
Then they got an unsportsmanlike penalty, and so they're backed up 15 yards, so kicking off from the 20-yard line, so Colorado State will have a return.
Thomas Kaufman is back to receive number 2, along with Jason Oden, number 17 for Colorado State. Rams could get decent field position out of this. This is Kaufman inside the 5, and never mind that good field position. He runs back into the end zone, brings it out, gets to the 15, and brought down at the 17-yard line. So never mind that good field position that the Rams could have had.
Well, let's take a look at this touchdown by Kerwin Williams. Let's freeze it right here, guys. So these guys have to be more stout inside. The Rams talked about playing with more toughness. Let's go ahead and roll the play, because watch, it's like these guys are all on roller skates. They're just getting pushed back. Everyone, where are they doing? They're not chasing the play. And then you have two guys coming here, and they just somehow neither of them makes the play. And so the Rams, they talked this week about playing tougher and having more physical contact on defense. We didn't see it on that play.
Second touchdown run of the season for Kerwin Williams. Jamie Markosian is the one, number 54, who had that big block that really paved the way for Williams to find his way into the end zone. There's Chris Woke. His first action since the Colorado game in the opening week. He's been out the last 2 weeks because of an ankle injury.
I've been waiting for a chance to say, okay.
He's A-OK right now with that ankle injury. And no gain on that play.
Man, this
third down.
This defensive line is stout. I mean, look at how they own the line of scrimmage. I mean, compare that to the replay we just showed you on the touchdown. This is owning the line of scrimmage, saying this is our territory. No man cometh through our territory.
Woke had 85 yards rushing against Utah State last year. He also scored a couple of touchdowns in that Colorado State win. Now 3rd down and 5. The Rams did convert on a 3rd down try on the opening drive, but then had to punt the ball away, and that's flipped into the air and picked up by Woke. He needed to get to the 28-yard line to continue the drive. Did he make it? That's Garrett Grayson just flipping it out there.
You know, a great heads-up play by Grayson at the end of this play. I know what the coaches are going to be talking to him about. He's holding the ball a little bit too long every time. So he drops back, he hits his drop, needs to throw the ball, holding on to it. But there has the presence of mind at the end of that play to flip it up and get the first down. That's a brilliant play.
Well, they've moved the chains to indicate a Colorado State first down, but I believe they are now going to go back and review the spot. So take a look at this one more time.
They might question whether his knee is down.
That's true. And they may have a good argument on that. So not so much the spot where Woke went down, but does Grayson go down right here?
Yeah, it's hard to tell right there. It's it's a great play. It's a bang play. They called it a completed pass on the field, and it doesn't look clear. You can't say for sure that his knee did touch the ground.
Nowhere in the world is the term indisputable used more than in college and professional football, where video replay is used.
Right. We need indisputable proof.
You hear that every single week whenever they go to talk to the replay officials. It must be indisputable evidence. Claire Gosman is the official, speaking with the replay officials in the booth, and now Jim McElwain, and you saw Gary Anderson just a moment ago, await the verdict. And I think it's kind of tough to tell. It does look to me as though his knee is down, but we don't have an indisputable angle to say that it was.
It's one of those plays that whatever got called on the field is going to stand, because you can't tell for sure. You know, you take another look at this. As he's going down, Well, those are some nice huddles. But, you know, as he was going down, if they called it a completed pass on the field, it's hard to overturn that because you can't be sure. If they had called him down, it'd be hard to overturn that because it looks like his knee touches.
We have 8:45 left to play in the opening quarter, and we're at a point, though, Reggie, where this is an incredibly important situation in this game. Colorado State last week against San Jose State fell behind 14-0, battled back, had the game close, got to within a score in the second half, but falling behind 14-0 is just putting that team, a young team, in a hole. And
does that knee touch the ground? I mean, it looks like the knee is down, but it's hard to tell from this high angle, and I'm not sure if the replay official can say for sure that knee did touch the ground.
Now, my guess is that perhaps because this is going quite a while and we've only seen a couple of different angles of this, I think they're going to overturn the play, and they're trying to figure out where to spot the knee down and where we are in terms of game management right about now.
Right.
But that's unfortunate because it was on a third down play that Garrett Grayson made something happen. I'm wondering if he knew that was Chris Woke or if he's just trying to keep something going and he threw the ball to a green jersey. And Woke happened to be there. And
right.
And
these guys know each other well enough. I'm sure at a glance he knows who Chris Woke is. But, you know, I think for Garrett, what he's got to learn is when you drop back in the pocket, get rid of the ball. I mean, we saw it in the previous drive where he got sacked twice. Here if his knee is down, then he was sacked again. So sacked 3 times, so you're already in this game. And I would say that the 3 of these sacks.
At the 20-yard line will be 4th down, and we will be winding the clock.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Gosman. So that is the verdict. Grayson's knee was down, not too surprising. So that will bring Pete Kontadiakis back onto the field. Again, one of the best punters in the entire country. He's 6th in the nation. His average is better than 46 yards per kick, and he's been doing that since he walked on campus 4 years ago. He's a senior. But you got the feeling that this guy might be kicking for a long time at the next level because he's been dynamite.
I think definitely he'll be kicking in the NFL, and I think today Utah State is going to be coming after him because they don't want to let him just sit back there all day long and boom kicks.
Well, and let's face it, he's had a lot of opportunity to get good here at Colorado State because they've had some tough years during his tenure. That ball fielded by number 84. That is Cameron Webb. He's brought down with good field position at the 39-yard line of Utah State. That's where the Aggies will have the ball with the lead. Hughes Stadium, Fort Collins, campus of Colorado State, just off campus of Colorado State. You might have heard they're looking to build a new place.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. Kind of big news around these parts. Gary Anderson, his 4th season in Logan as the head coach at Utah State. He has had this team competitive from day one. Now, they've been able to reel off a couple of big victories the last 2 years, but they've been a headache to a number of BCS opponents since he first took over. Most notably last week against Wisconsin, a game that the Aggies probably should have won. There's another quick pass from Keaton, and that's complete. Out to number
Look at this
20
formation that they line up in. So they got 3 stacked. Colorado State reacts to it perfectly. They are not fooled for a moment. And here he comes again, number 19, DeAndre Elliott, making another play.
And that's Devontae Glover Wright, number 20, who's listed as a cornerback. So they're really changing things up. Keaton fixed the handoff, and he tangled up with the running back, and he's brought down for a loss in the play. That didn't look good at all.
Lanston Tanyi. He's a grad student, came here from Appalachian State. Look at him fire off the edge like he was shot out of a cannon. This is explosive. This is the kind of toughness that they were looking for them to play with.
So 3rd down and a bunch. 3rd down and 12. The Aggies are 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions so far, both on their opening drive of the game that led to a touchdown. Keaton picked up one of those 3rd down conversions, scrambling around on 3rd down and long. That pass is complete, and that's going to be well short of the necessary yardage. That's number 81, Kellen Bartlett, one of the tight ends for Utah State. Short gain on the play, a gain of 5 actually, and it's 4th down and 7.
Kevin Davis makes a great play on the tackle right there, and just that was the best defensive series for CSU. They responded, they were tough, they forced a punt. Now let's see if the offense can do something with it.
Tyler Bennett is the punter for Utah State. Joe Hansley drifts back. He's inside the 5. You got to let that go, son. He fields it at the 3, and it is disastrous. 54-yard punt for Bennett. And that punt looks even better when it's fielded inside the 5-yard line. And Colorado State is going to start way, way back. And you can see Jim McElwain. Where's my freshman? Where's my freshman?
You know, just a punt returner. And if that ball goes over your head, you don't back up to go catch it. And that's what he's telling them right now, that, great, you're trying to make a play. We love the aggressiveness. We need you out there, but let that ball go in the end zone.
That's a coach becoming a teacher and a bit of a counselor at a moment like that.
Right.
So 1st and 10 from the 5 for Grayson and company. Trailing at 7-0. And it's going to get worse. That's Joe Brown on the carry, and he's dropped back at the 2, a loss of 3 on the play.
So this is clearly a missed assignment for CSU. They're running straight into an unblocked defender. Somebody does not come out to tackle him, to block him. He's just coming off the edge. No one is out there to block him. So clearly somebody on CSU missed an assignment, and now they're backed up on their own 1-yard line.
Nevin Lawson, the cornerback, shot in there, picking up a tackle for loss. 2nd down and 13. Grayson, play action, lofts it out there, and it's incomplete. Intended for Lou Greenwood. So that stretches the field a bit, all for naught. Now 3rd down and 13.
And that, that's I agree that to take the long shot right there, I think is good. I think Grayson has to just get rid of the ball sooner in the play. As he drops back and he hits his 5th step on his drop, he needs to just practice, get rid of the ball, throw it to somebody right now. Because I think he went to the right person. He's got a one-on-one matchup out there. He could throw it up, let his receiver try to make the play. It just needed to happen a little bit earlier.
3rd down and 13. They may just punch this ball forward to get a little real estate. And it's Brown who spins to the 5. Yeah, they're going to spot him at the 4. So that's just giving Contadiacos a little more room to work with. And I mentioned he had a 72-yarder against San Jose State last week. 5 consecutive games for Contadiacos with a punt of 50 yards or more. And quite frankly, I'm a little surprised that it's only 5 games, because it seems like he can punt a boomer just about any time.
That last driver there started on the 5-yard line and ended on the 4.
And that's actually a fairly short kick. It's fielded at the 47-yard line, but good coverage on the play. Webb is brought down immediately. Utah State will have its 3rd possession start at the Colorado State 47-yard line.
That was DeAndre Elliott again making the tackle. So he has been very active so far in this game. Special teams and as a starter on defense. That's one of McElwain's big things. He puts his starting players out on special teams. He says the 3rd phase of the game is not a throwaway phase. You'll see some pretty big name guys out there sometimes.
So 1st and 10 for Chucky Keaton and company. Kerwin Williams behind him. And the fake is to Williams, and Keaton to throw. He's got a wide open receiver who dropped the ball, Travis Lewin.
All right, so watch the double move here. You get the stutter to the outside, and then he cuts across to and going on the out route, and the ball's perfectly placed. He just doesn't catch it.
And who are they throwing to? DeAndre Elliott, number 19.
Yes, sir.
No Momo Thomas for Colorado State, starting cornerback, a senior, started about 35 games in his career. He's out because of a shoulder injury. That's Kerwin Williams, met at the 45, short gain on the play. They're going to give him the 44. Going back to your point about Colorado State having a philosophy of playing starters on special teams, backfired against San Jose State. It was Momo Thomas returning a kick. That's when he injured his shoulder and was knocked out of the game.
Sure.
But he's been doing it for 3.5 years, so it's no surprise. 3rd down and 7. Utah State 2 of 3 on 3rd downs. Keaton hit. He goes to Van Leeuwen. And he makes the catch this time, sliding inside the 35 to the 34. First down, Aggies.
So the Rams get a good rush in here and some pressure on Keaton, but he is able to hit Van Leeuwen on the slant. A nice catch to hold on to it.
Van Leeuwen did not have a catch last week against Wisconsin.
Keaton is out.
And that was Shaq Barrett that hit Shaq Barrett as he released that pass.
And someone may have stepped on his hand while he was on the ground.
That's his left hand they're looking at. That's not his throwing hand. And Adam Kennedy is the backup quarterback. And Utah State is going to use its first timeout here for them to take a little longer look at Chucky Keaton. So we've got our first timeout of the game. 4:24 to play in the opening quarter. The Aggies have the lead and have the ball on the move.
And he got sprayed down on his left. It looks like his pinky is really bothering him. He keeps shaking it. Funny, it shows that he's a sophomore. He stood on the sidelines. One of his coaches had to come over and say, "You can go back on the field." So there he is. He's out there.
So Utah State makes the most of its timeout. They get their quarterback healthy again, and he's out there. And a quick pass into the backfield. That's Webb, and he's going to loft a pass that is caught and then dropped, and penalty flags come flying. Matt Austin had his hands on it, and then the ball was jarred loose. Austin Gray rocked him, and that's going to be a penalty flag on Gray of 15 yards.
Wow, and that's just a tough play. You know, Gray not going for his head. You can see that Gray is going for the ball, but his arm makes contact with the player's head. Maybe that's what the officials are talking about now. This is a brilliant play. So the double pass, they get it downfield. Now watch him, he's coming in, he's sweeping. Well, maybe not. I thought he was sweeping at the ball when I saw it live, but no, I think he's just going for the tackle.
Personal foul, number 12 on the defense. Unnecessary roughness. 50-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that's so tough. I mean, you have to do it for player safety. You have to have these rules, but it's so tough when you're a defensive player. You're running toward the ball. You have to not collide with another human being while you're running to the ball. You have that burden. The offensive player doesn't have that burden.
You know, it looked like he was flying in there almost chest first and wrapping up.
Right.
It wasn't as though he was leading with the head.
Correct.
Going head hunting with the shoulder. It looked like he was making a pretty good play on that. Of benefit for Colorado State, it does give Utah State a first down, but instead of the Aggies having it at the 5, they're back at the 20. This is Kerwin Williams, and he spins to the 11-yard line. That'll be a gain of 8.
Let's take one more look at this hit, and you know, to me, he's just running in to make the tackle. I mean, he does make helmet-to-helmet contact. I think the refs don't have much of a choice. They have to make that call. Those are the rules for player safety, but some of these rules, I was an offensive player when I played, and I look at this and I think, how in the world are you supposed to play defense if you can't ever go tackle a guy?
Aren't helmets going to hit?
Occasionally.
That's what you think, yeah. Second down and 2, and Williams was met after a gain of 2 and then pushed forward for another 3.
Every carry that Williams has had so far has come over that left guard tackle gap, and they are gaping holes over there. So Utah State has obviously seen something that they like, and they keep going back to the well. Right in here.
Jamie Marcosian, Kevin Wimpy are the guys on the left side. Keaton to the air, and that pass is batted away. There's DeAndre Elliott with a nice play defensively.
DeAndre Elliott earning his scholarship today. They are putting him to the test. He's in man-to-man coverage all the way, just watching his receiver. Perfect reaction to the ball to swipe as that ball is coming in.
So second down and 7. Williams is the deep back standing at the 15-yard line. He takes the handoff and moves across the 5, falls forward to the 3. And that'll bring up third down and goal from the 3-yard line.
There you saw some good stoutness from the Colorado State defensive front. Didn't allow any movement. They owned the line of scrimmage. And so that's what they have to do. They have to be firing out and hitting these guys first. For too much of the game so far, they've been catching the blocks. Now is the moment to take charge. Offsides.
Keaton lost that pass for Austin in the end zone. It's broken up. Are there penalty flags? There is a penalty flag on the field.
CSU jumped off sides.
And that's going to give Utah State another shot at third down.
Offside defense. Half the distance. Third down.
So they'll move it to the, between the second, or the 2-yard line and the 1-yard line. Third down and goal. Utah State 3 of 4 on third downs in the game. 7 first downs already for the Aggies. Just 1 first down for Colorado State.
Huge play right here for CSU if they can hold them.
Williams, no, this is Keaton. And he is wrapped up and brought down.
Big, big play for the Rams. And what discipline. The defensive end sitting out there did not bite on the fake. Watch as Keaton comes out to his right. He's expecting to have some room to run. Oh, no, sir. He's got company out there, and then here comes the Green Brigade to take him down.
So that's going to force a field goal try of 20 yards. Josh Thompson is the place kicker. 0 for 1 on the season. It's an extra point is what it is, and it's straight down the middle and good. And Utah State's lead is 10-0 with inside 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter of play. Well, to vote for today's player of the game, presented by Poudre Valley Hospital, visit Poudre Valley Hospital's official Facebook page. That's facebook.com/University of Colorado Health or hashtag PVH Player. How about that? So you can participate.
PVH Player. You got to go to the house and keep my Twitter name and my hashtag out your mouth.
Boy, the game has changed, hasn't it? For us.
It is. It is. Now guys don't trash talk on the field. They do it on Twitter.
That's right. So 10-0 Utah State. Colorado State, I mentioned last week, in a 40-20 loss at San Jose State. Fell behind 14-0 in the first quarter. Continued to come back. Got the game to within 27-20 in the second half. But then San Jose State pulled away to double up the score. Utah State last week led 14-3 at Wisconsin at halftime. And that ball through the end zone. And Colorado State will open up this drive at the 25-yard line.
So the Rams, they've got 1:58 left in the first quarter. And, look at the total yardage difference right there. Man, it's a Utah State 11-1 over CSU. Just 10 yards of total offense for the Rams right now, 108 for Utah State. The Rams need a drive. If they can get points on the board before this first quarter ends, that would be ideal, but they need a drive. They need to hold on to the ball, sustain the clock, give their defense some rest.
Utah State has only run 7 more plays in the game than have the Rams, and Grayson's in trouble again, and he takes a shot after delivering the football incomplete. Crockett Gilmore was in the vicinity. Grayson's just a little slow in getting up.
Yeah, so he gets hit. All of his problems are going to come late in plays. We're talking, oh man, that's a helmet-to-helmet hit right there.
How is that not a penalty?
That's more, in my mind, more egregious, more of a kind of a traditional launch at the head. But that doesn't get called.
Fili Moyatu was the one who got in there and laid the real punishment on Garrett Grayson. Second down and 10, the ball at the 25. On the screen, this is Chris Woke. And he'll pick up 3 yards on that play. And that'll bring up another third down situation for the Rams. Woke has been out since the opener against Colorado. He's a junior out of Highlands Ranch, which for folks who are not too familiar with the area, that's the big southern suburb of Denver.
Does anyone not know Highlands Ranch? You can see
We're
it
in
from
Utah
space.
today,
That's true. That's true.
So 1 of 4 on third down conversions. We bring it up a lot because it's been a real big problem for CSU this season.
Comes a blitz. Oh, that's pass interference, and they get it.
Pass intended for Charles Lovett, number 4, and he was wearing a Utah Aggie, and that ought to give Colorado State its second first down.
I mean, it is Ag Day, but that's ridiculous. You get an Aggie sweater?
You got the Utah State Aggies, the Colorado A&M Aggies. Got the A on the hill behind us.
Holding on an eligible receiver on the defense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
It might be the best play of the day for Colorado State.
I was just about to say they converted a third down.
So that does move the sticks, and you were saying they need a sustained drive, and we've not seen that. Now, they've had the ability to quick hit this season. A couple of weeks ago when we were here, just first minute and a half into the game, Grayson connected with Crockett Gilmore, the tight end, for a 69-yard touchdown pass. Longest of the season for CSU, but they're content to grind it here. This is Woke. Smashed at the 44-yard line and pick up a 5.
So you get 5 yards on first down. That last play that we saw, even though actually the last 2 plays that we saw, Garrett Grayson dropped back with quick throws. I say make the play happen in the first 2 or 3 seconds of the play, not the 5 or 6 seconds of the play. This time it doesn't work out, but I think this is the approach the CSU needs to take with getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly.
Zach Vigil tackles Chris Woke. Loss of 1 on the play. He was trying to get to the corner. He had no help out there.
You know what Utah State would do in a situation like this, 3rd and 6? They would spread it out and they would run a slant route. CSU, I think, needs to do the same. Spread it out, run a slant route, 3-step drop, get the ball gone.
It's been a long time since Colorado State's had that go-to wide receiver.
They're trying.
There's a slant, and it's in and out of the hands of Marquise Law. If he completes it, might have been enough for a first down. Instead, it's 4th down.
It was just the prescription. They come with a double slant, perfect pass, and he just has to hold on to it. Not much more that Garrett Grayson could have done with that.
Will Davis, the cornerback, was covering. Kantadiakis with the punt. End over end. Fair catch by Webb at the 14-yard line. Utah State's had some pretty good field position in the first quarter. Not so this time as the first quarter comes to an end. So we played 15 minutes here in Fort Collins. Good start for the road team. The Aggies have a lead on the Aggies, 10-0.